Alrighty, hey guys, before the video starts, go check out the first link down below in the description. It is a link to a playlist with all updated 2022 Bannerlord videos. These are going to be guides, tip videos, and pretty much important information regarding to the game. So go check that out. It's going to be the first link down below in the description. Alrighty, now let's talk about workshops. So this video will pretty much be a full rundown of what we know, what the devs have told us, and what I have experienced using workshops throughout all the patches since launch, and try to give my best kind of tips and tricks about it. So let's just start off. So first, let's start off with what workshops are. So workshops, they produce goods that sell to the market. They are located in each town in the game. There's about 3 to 4 workshops per town, and pretty much the goods that they make get sold to caravans, lords, villagers, and the main player, which is you. These workshops are initially owned by the leaders of the towns, which are the most influential NPCs, who also have units that you can recruit. Some are called artisans, some are called headmen. They all got different names, but it's just the main guys who you see at the top right whenever you visit a town. There are 11 types of workshops, and each produce different items from raw materials that are brought from local villages, by villagers, sometimes by caravan, and the ones that are brought from villages, they are either bound to said town, the village itself, or they're bound to a castle nearby. Since villagers can't bring goods to a castle, they still bring it to the closest town. So right now on the screen, there's going to be the 11 types of workshops and what they produce. So I'm just going to run through it real quick. We have the smithy, they produce weapons, armor, and tools. The olive press, they produce oil. The brewery produces beer. The pottery shop produces pottery. The wine press produces wine. The tannery produces armor and leather. The silversmith produces jewelry. The wood workshop produces bows, arrows, and shields. The wool weavery produces clothing. The velvet weavery produces velvet, and the linen weavery produces linen. And now on the screen is going to be the same 11 workshops and what they require to function. This is the raw materials that are made from the villages. So again, we have the smithy. They need iron ore / hardwood. We have the olive press, which requires olives. We have the brewery, which requires grain. We have the pottery shop, requires clay. The wine press, it requires grapes. The tannery requires hides and linen. The silversmith requires silver. The wood workshop requires hardwood. The wool weavery requires wool. The velvet weavery requires cotton. And the linen weavery requires flax. Now, before we talk about actually, buying a workshop, let's talk about how to choose the best one and, or relatively the best one in your situation to make a decent profit. So what you want to look for, pretty much most good workshops will make you about 200 gold a day. This will fluctuate up and down. Some will make a little bit less, some will make a little bit more, but that's kind of what you're aiming for. Profit is based on multiple things, so this includes the amount of raw materials that the workshop has to work with that are brought into the town, the amount of goods they sell, and also outside factors like the economy of the town, and if the town is constantly under attack, if there's constantly wars, and that's the town that's facing the enemy, this will all slow down the local economy and in turn your profit that you make. So now, best thing to do when choosing a workshop is first checking what raw materials are being produced nearby in villages that are bound to that town that the workshop is in, and also bound to nearby castles that are also close to that town, because all those villages will bring in their raw resources to that town, and pretty much workshops in that town will use those resources to create products. Also, check if the town is being visited frequently. Obviously, you need to sell these goods that the workshop makes. If the town isn't being visited recently, there's not a lot of lords, caravans, and everything passing by, it will make a little bit less. Obviously, each town in the game, caravans will always visit each town in the game, but certain ones on the outskirts of the map won't be visited as much as others. For example, in the Battanian region, a lot of those towns are very fast-paced in terms of how much products are sold, because they're very close together and it's very easy to trade in between them. But places, let's say in the as far as in the Khazate land, all the way to the right, let's say the bottom right, those towns are more separate, more apart, and they're on the edge of the map, which has a little bit less traffic. And also, what you do want to check is if caravan and villagers are being attacked constantly. This will impact your profits. And if you see a lot of bandits, if you see a hideout, go take it out. Also, make sure that the town that you want to place the workshop in is in a safe place away from constant wars. And make sure if you do choose a kingdom or someone to side with, make sure that the workshop is not part of another kingdom's town, or it's not, you know, the border town between you and an enemy. Because what happens is when a war starts, let's say you own let's say you're with the Khazates and you own a workshop in an Azerai town. If the Azerai all of a sudden declare war, or the Khazates declare war on the Azerai, you guys become enemies and you're part of the Khazates, you will lose that workshop. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you put it in a safe place and also owned by the kingdom that you're with. Or if it's your own kingdom, then obviously put it in your own kingdom's town. Now on to buying a workshop. It's very simple. You go to any town, you right click on one of the town leaders, top right, all those pretty much, you know, either, you know, it's usually 4 or 5 different leaders up there. Not all of them own workshops. If you just hover over their name, you're going to see who owns what. And depending on what you want to buy there, based on, you know, doing your research on all the factors that we just talked about, right click on one of them, pretty much talk to them, and then you're going to have an option to say, hey, I want to buy your workshop from you. And they're going to give you a price. Usually it's between 12K to 18K based on the prosperity of the town. And obviously the prosperity is higher, the higher you'll have to pay. If the prosperity is lower, the lower you'll have to pay. And once you accept, the workshop will be yours. The number of workshops that you can own total is based on your clan tier. It is always one more than your clan tier. So for example, if you're a clan tier 3, you can have 4 workshops. If you're clan tier 5, you can have 6 workshops. Always just one more. Now, once you own a workshop, it is very passive and you do not really need to do much else apart from either choosing to sell the workshop or change the type of workshop that it is, pretty much change the production. Also, as a side note, when a workshop is first purchased or after a town was just recently sieged, you will not see any income from said workshop. This is normal. Give it some time to actually get back up and running, or if it is your first time purchasing, give it some time to actually start up the production. So it does take a couple of days, even sometimes, you know, a week of in-game time to actually see the full potential of said workshop and to see if it's worthy investment, or if you need to change the production, or if you need to just sell the workshop and take the loss. Again, it's an investment. Not all workshops will work out for you. But before you do sell any workshop for not producing enough income, really do try to change the workshop's production. Make sure that this new production that you choose is not currently already in your town. Because let's say there's already a wood workshop in the town and you want to change your brewery, for example, to another wood workshop. You will not make much profit at all because you will then have to share the markets with that other wood workshop. You want to create another production that is different from what the town already has. To change the production, it's very simple. You go to the clans tab, it's under the other tab. So the clans page under the others tab, and it costs about 2,000 gold. Not that much really. You know, it's a couple of good fights and you can change the production very quickly. And I would really do suggest you do that before you try to sell it, because usually you need to own a workshop for a very, very long time until you can really sell it for profits. So if you do want to actually just buy a workshop and then just wait to resell it, it's going to take some in-game years, which is a lot of real life time for it to actually grow in value. Now, very quick, that pretty much deals with all the workshop stuff, but I just wanted to give you guys some ending tips on how to improve your profits. Like I said before, get rid of hideouts near your town. Very important. The less attacks there are on caravans and villagers and lords and pretty much anybody who's going to buy or bring stuff to the town, you want to improve that. You want to improve the security of it. Look for high prosperity towns. Look around, see the prosperity. You can hover over any town to see their prosperity. Prosperity means pretty much how fast they're growing, how much people they have in the town. The higher, the better. That means more money to you. Also, try to look out for different workshops. There is no real best one. It all depends on your location, the prosperity, and there's a lot of luck in it as well. So, good luck. Try to do your best, and yeah, try to just work out. Just realize sometimes you're going to lose some money, sometimes you're going to gain some money. That's just how investments work. So, yeah, that will do it for me. Hopefully, this was informative. A lot more videos to come. I'm enjoying Bannerlord again. I took a little break, but yeah, a lot more videos to come. I have a lot more ideas. Let me know any ideas that you want me to talk about, and we're gonna get to all of